Fans of The Vampire Diaries were recently treated to Vampire Academy by the TVD showrunners, with many reminiscing about the original vampire show. The sprawling universe of the Salvatores and the Mystic Falls gang was full of unexpected twists and turns, which kept fans on their feet, but some of them were reversed or undone by the show itself. Many of these had to do with the show's supernatural lore, like the doppelgangers and the cure to vampirism, and many with relationships between people. These plot twists were fantastic, but the show lost its way with them. The Delena Sire bond. A huge chunk of the Vampire Diaries fandom waited for Damon and Elena to get together with bated breath, but when it finally happened, it was because Elena was inexplicably sired to Damon. This would have been a fine plot twist had Elena not dismissed it the same day, when she said that sleeping with Damon had nothing to do with the sire bond. It was a monkey wrench thrown into their new romance for no apparent reason, since the quagmire that came up because of siring was solved with just a single quote by Elena. Catherine becoming human and dying. Elena became a contributor to Catherine's downfall, except that Catherine hardly fell. Giving her the cure, turning her human, and then watching her age rapidly towards death was quite unexpected, as Catherine was never expected to die. As she was given a grand exit, this plot twist was already ready to unravel. Not only did she attempt to passenger permanently into Elena, but she got sucked into hell and then ended up ruling it. It seemed unnecessary to give Catherine a grand farewell if she was going to return as a spirit soon after. Bonnie and Enzo's relationship. The sudden but sizzling romance between Bonnie and Enzo was a game changer, and nobody in the audience ever expected it. They were great together, and it seemed like Bonnie was going to get a happy ending, but the writers had something else in mind. It built for a beautiful story, only to come crashing at Stefan's hand when he killed Enzo. It served no purpose in furthering the story and only undid the great revelation that was Bonanza. The doppelganger's destiny to be together. Fans will always be divided over whether Elena or Stelena should have been endgame, but the travelers in Season 5 tipped the scales in Stelena's favor when it was revealed that all doppelgangers were destined to end up together across the universe. This development made it seem like Stefan and Elena were always meant to be together. Soon after, this concept was debunked just as quickly as it was introduced. The doppelgangers were merely drawn together by Marco's magic, which meant that their love wasn't real at all. The point of this plot twist remains unclear. Elena's sleeping curse. Fans were sad and shocked when Elena was cursed to sleep until Bonnie stayed alive, which meant that she would be out of action for several decades at least. The spell was supposed to be watertight with no antidotes available. Still, in the series finale of The Vampire Diaries, Bonnie found a way to undo the curse overnight, which meant that it was never as infallible as it had been portrayed earlier. It minimized the gravity of Elena's absence from the last 2 seasons considerably. Stefan saving Elena on Wickery Bridge. One of the best decisions that Stefan made was saving Elena from the Wickery Bridge crash that she had been in with her parents. It was the Vampire Diaries starting point, and a pleasant surprise that strengthened the deep love that Stefan and Elena shared on the show. The showrunners reversed this twist by retconning this first meeting, depicting Damon meeting her before Stefan on a lonely road right before the accident. It was a bad move since it trivialized Stefan's heroism and his care for Elena at that moment. A single cure. The race for the cure to vampirism was manic because there was only a single dose of it. This meant that a single chance existed on the whole planet for a vampire to revert to humanity, which was what made it such a precious commodity. The existence of the cure was miraculous, but its rarity was diluted when the lore surrounding it changed. The cure could be taken from the blood of the person who took it first, thus enabling others to use it too. The conundrum around a single cure was completely changed for the worse. Klaus falling for Caroline menacing and mean, Klaus was the worst of all the Vampire Diaries villains. Nothing could make him merciful or good, except for Caroline. Klaus' affection for the newbie vampire took everyone by surprise, but in a good way. Fans shipped them, as they saw undeniable chemistry and a better side of Klaus. When the originals got their own show, this romance was abandoned unceremoniously, leaving fans and the plot hanging. A more satisfying conclusion would have been better for Caroline. The Brotherhood of the Five Vampires were the dominant supernatural species, but the introduction of the Brotherhood of the Five made them shudder. These hunters were supposed to be lethal to vampires, but that lasted only for an episode or two. A trained hunter like Connor was taken down by a newbie vampire like Elena in minutes, which undid the plot twist that was the Five. They were merely a device to get to the cure, posing no threat to vampires at all. Doppelganger Origins by Esther. The Vampire Diaries doppelgangers were full of twists and turns, and their origin stories were subject to change. Fans were stunned and delighted by Esther's story creating the originals, and how the doppelganger lines had sprung from Tatia's blood sacrifice, and to keep Klaus in check. This wonderful turn of events was turned on its head when Silas and Amara were revealed to be the reason why Salvatore and Petrova lookalikes existed in the first place. It only confused fans about the origins, and they preferred the one with Esther since it made more sense than Silas' doomed love story.